Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. I know, it's exciting times. Did you ever think we'd do it? No, me neither. I tell you what, you thought I was crazy. You thought you did. I know. You don't have to tell them. It's all right. But we did it. We did it. Yes, we did. I tell you what. You go get the party ready. Okay. You get out the wine, punch, and crackers. Okay. Can we get out the cream soda? Of course we can get out the cream soda. Of course we can. Okay. Go get everything ready. Okay. And I'll meet you down there in a few minutes. Okay. That's it. We did it. Yeah. It's on you, buddy. It's on you. Greetings, fellow YouTuber. My name is Tim. Welcome once again to this comedy cesspool we like to call GainerWorld Live. My name is Tim Gainer, your captain of fun for the next hour or so, if you tend to believe such drivel. And yeah, this is what we do. If you are new here, and I can tell people are new here, I can tell you are, I can see it in your eyes. But this is what we do. We spend an hour or so just kind of talking to each other and going through the events of the day and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And in case you have something to say about it, well, you can tell we've got this cool little chat thing right here. We'd love to have you interact. It attaches right to the chat room in YouTube. And yeah, we will talk to you, and you can talk to us, and you can talk to other people in the chat room. So there's nothing to worry about. We have our operators standing by, as it were. I have no idea what that means, but yeah, no, what operators? Hey, look, it's me and Plopsy. That's it. That's as good as it gets, unfortunately. But I'm glad you're here on a very historic and momentous occasion. We've got a lot to cover this week. I mean to say we have a lot to cover this week, but let us start right off with the good news, and I just can't contain myself. In fact, I'm going to do it. I got to do it. We got a bulletin coming in. Yes, it's true. Yes, it is true. I'm sorry to say that it has happened. It has taken a long time. It took a lot of pleading, cajoling, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of chain smoking and bottles of Mountain Dew, but we did it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to say that we have not only made and accomplished, but we have surpassed our goal of 100 subscribers. Yes, it's true. Yeah, I pretty much had the same reaction, but it is absolutely true. We have gone over the threshold. As you can tell, the studio audience is showing nothing more than their appreciation for the situation. And boy, oh boy, don't we appreciate it along with them. But yes, it is true. We have done that, and we want to thank Morgan Roberts. Morgan Roberts, who was our 100th subscriber. Morgan, thank you very much. You are the person that tipped it over the edge, and we had a couple of other people. Apparently there was this like very small campaign that was put out by a friend of mine, and I have to mention him by name only because number one, he deserves it. Number two, he was also the photographer for the art for my last album. Great guy by the name of Michael Cross. Very inventive guy, very creative guy, and he'll be the first to tell you, kind of weird. But that's the way he is. And yeah, so Michael, thank you for putting out the call, and thank you, Morgan, for being our 100th subscriber. We're actually up to 105 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. It is, you know, I have to say, I joked about it all the time. And actually, no, I wasn't joking about it because I did say, it was kind of an egotistical thing if I can make it to 100 subscribers, which is absolutely nothing. It is nothing in the world of YouTube. I mean, you know it, I know it, YouTube know it, but we were able to do it, and thank you very much. That means that for some crazy reason, 100 people like this little slop fest that I do once a week, and occasionally put out videos for and things of that nature. So thank you very much. I hope you stick around because we're just kind of getting warmed up. So please if you're new here, subscribe. If you're watching the replay, hey, hit the bell thing. Okay, hit the bell thing down here because that'll tell you when we're back on. And if you want, you can donate. Buy me a cup of coffee. There's a little donate tab on the homepage, and we did it. 100 subscribers. We did it. Thank you, fellow YouTuber. Thank you to people like Gary Hicker from the Incredible Edibles Band. Howdy, bud. How's it going? Always good to see, one of the folks back home. We have got a lot to cover tonight. This week was one of those shows. This week was one of those weeks that just kind of writes itself. And it's kind of sad and it's kind of weird and it's kind of nice because that means I don't have to do a whole heck of a lot of work. But let's just start it off. We'll start off with what happened Sunday. I'm not a country fan. I'm really not a country fan. But this was one of those. Amu City's jumped in. Before I go anywhere, I don't care how much you have to cover. I'm here to make your job more difficult. And you do such a great job of it, Amu City. I want you to know that. You do a fine, fine job. But unfortunately, we lost one of the greats in country music, Naomi Judd. Of course, you know her as the mom side of country's supergroup, the Judds. She passed away Sunday at the age of 76. She died outside of Nashville, according to her representative. This is according to Entertainment Weekly. The daughters, Ashley and Winona. I used to have a running joke when it came to country music. I referred to the Judds as Nebraska and Wyoming for reasons I will not go into on this show because I've got enough controversy going on. But Naomi Ashley and Winona put out a statement that said, and this is a quote again, today we experienced a tragedy. We lost our beautiful mother to the disease of mental illness. That kind of says something right there. And everybody was kind of speculating what it was about, but we'll get to that in a minute. The statement went on to say, we're shattered, we're navigating profound grief, and know that as we loved her, she was loved by the public. We're in unknown territory. This was the day before, and this is kind of the really ironic and sad part behind it, that this was the day before they were to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, which makes it even sadder. And I mean, this was one of the few country groups that I really liked. I was in radio in the late 80s, early 90s, and I was able to play, songs like Mommy's Crazy, Love Can Build a Bridge. They were great. They were great songs. There was no denying it in any way, shape, or form. So, and Naomi had been very, very public about her mental illness. And the really sad part about it is when the girls released that statement, everybody kind of speculated what it was. And then, well, the next day, a representative told them that they couldn't confirm it, but it was pretty well known that her death was the cause of suicide because of her mental illness. So very, very sad loss. There's an ongoing investigation, according to a representative in Entertainment Weekly. There's an ongoing investigation by law enforcement and the coroner's office. Any further information will be released by the proper authorities. So yes, and Carl Keegan popping in to let us know how he feels about that. Yeah, it was very sad. That's how the week started. Hail and farewell, Naomi Judd. The next night, she was inducted with her daughter into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and that was extremely sad to watch. Very, very sad to watch. The speeches by the girls just alone was enough to break your heart. So there was that. The glasses are probably going to be on all night, kids. So that means that there is a very, very serious situation going on. So that was then. And then on Tuesday, we got what we'd all been waiting for. Not really, but... and by the way, if you have any comments on this, please, by all means, check out the chat room. Carl's saying that it was sad. Emu City's in there. Gary's in there. You can be in there, too. We'll let you. We're nice folks, allegedly. And we'd love to hear what you have to say. If you're watching the replay of this, please, by all means, comment down below. We will answer you. That's not a problem. So, Tuesday was the announcement. Yes, it was the announcement. Come on in, says Amu City. The water is fine. And if Amu City says so, by golly, it's okay with me. Lord knows what Amu City has done in the water, but we don't go into that here. Tuesday was the announcement of the final inductees for the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Everybody's favorite musical smoking club. Driving, won't be chatting much, but always listening. All right, Gare, that's cool. Both hands on the wheel, bud. I'm just saying. So, let me say I was half right, and there was a surprise that I don't think anybody saw coming. So, here we go. Mike's down popping in. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Always good to see you, my man. The inductees for the 2022 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 22, are Pat Benatar, Duran Duran, Eminem, who didn't see that coming, to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This one caught me completely by surprise. I think a lot of people, this took them by surprise. But I must admit that this is very well deserved and should be well received. Also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Eurythmics. Yeah, come on. Dave Stewart, Annie Lennox, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. That is well deserved. Also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Carly Simon was put in. Come on. You got to admit, she deserves it. That's one of the people who deserved it. Speaking of people who don't deserve it, also inducted, Lionel Richie. Why? Tell me why. There is no reason for this whatsoever. And regardless of how much she said no, also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Dolly Parton. Yeah. You know, she said originally, she did say originally that she did not want, in fact, she asked to have her name removed from the ballot. She asked to have her name removed from the ballot, but because Jan Wenner is cheap, he wouldn't do it. The ballots had already gone out, and people just, they voted her in. Simply being, it was to me, I think it's the whole Betty White thing. Honestly, enough people talked about it, so enough people went, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's get her on. Carl is saying, Carly Simon, the only woman that can put a tire in her mouth without biting it in half. No, that's Jewel. That's another story altogether. I don't know. Carl's saying he deserved it with the Commodores. That's kind of iffy. Should the Commodores be in? Yes. Lionel Richie? Not so much. Amy City saying the songs "Hello" and "Dancing on the Ceiling." Tell me why is from "I Don't Like Mondays" from the Boomtown Rats. I know, I understand that. But Dolly did say, moving on here, Dolly did say that she is going to accept the induction. She said that she hadn't earned a right, but according to Digital Music News, she said, I felt like I'd be taking away from someone that maybe deserved it, certainly more than me, because I never considered myself a rock artist, but obviously there's more to it than that. So I think what happened was Jan talked her into it, is really, I think that's what that was all about. Now, I have to explain that these are people in the performers category. These are people that were in the performers category. There were others that I really... Well, let me put it to you this way. There's also a category for induction due to the Musical Excellence Award. One I agree with, one I just think they did to shut people up. The one I agree with was, as far as Musical Excellence Awards, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Two incredible producers who did a lot for rock, rap, and pop music. I will openly admit that. The other, did they ask you? Carl wants to know, did they ask me yet? If nominated, I shall not seek. If elected, I shall not serve. I don't need to be part of that smoking club. The other Musical Excellence Award, I think they put them in at the last second just for the sake of shutting people up because they've been nominated so many times and never gotten in. The other one for the Musical Excellence Award is Judas Priest. Really? I mean, don't get me wrong. They did a lot to further heavy metal. They did a lot to further hard rock and metal. I get it. British Steel alone justifies it. Okay? But musical excellence? Priest? I don't know. That just doesn't, that don't make it with me. I'm sorry. In the early influence category, we've got Harry Belafonte. Daylight come. Me want to go home. Pardon me. I guess if Winona Judd or whoever it is that dances in the air during Jumping the Line in Beetlejuice was worth that. But I guess I can see that to a certain degree. I can. He did have a little bit of influence. Also, Elizabeth Cotten. Now, I am impressed with the fact that they picked Elizabeth Cotten. And the reason for that is because Amy City saying Harry Belafonte deserves it. I believe so, too. I really do. Looking back on it, as does Elizabeth Cotten. And the reason that I like Elizabeth Cotten is because If you take a real close look at that picture as the way that Elizabeth is playing, and I'm reading this straight off of Wikipedia, so you know it's got to be true. She was a self-taught left-handed guitar player who played a guitar strung for a right-handed player, but played it upside down. See, guys, I'm not crazy. There are other people that do it. For example, Elizabeth Cotten. So there you have it. Okay? I am not nuts. So there you go. And there you have it this year. I half called this list. Still wish the New York Dolls had gotten in. Still wish a few people gotten in. But, you know, we have to have Eminem in there. The induction is going to be held at the Microsoft Theater in L.A. on November 5th. It'll air on a later date on HBO and HBO Max. So, yeah, there you have it. Another waste of, yes, the real Slim Shady. Yes, Marshall Mathers has now got another thing to protest in his life. Amy City says, you're nuts, but the way you play a guitar has no bearing on that. Well, yeah, I've been told that. I have been told that quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Oh, and speaking of which, just because you said that, huh? Yeah? Okay. Y'all won't be like that, huh? Two can play this game, you know. Gotta get up pretty early in the morning to get up early in the morning around here, let me tell you. But anyway. Mentally deranged guitar playing is in vogue. I like to think so. I've made a point of it for 50 years now, quite honestly. No, I am not going to play Fernando. I don't care. Although, and I didn't have time because there's a lot of things going on that I also need to catch you up on here after this. But Mike says, I still can't get past that freaky guitar. Thank you. I'm very proud of it. This is, I've told this story, and as a matter of fact, you guys got to see it live on the air when our occasional guest co-host, Chris King, presented this to me for my birthday about a year or so ago, a couple of years ago. So, and it has become my favorite guitar very quickly. For those who are asking, real quick, this is the world's first. Shut up, Amy City. The world's first fully molded carbon fiber guitar, and it can withstand. Well, let me put it this way: the neck will never warp. There is no truss rod. Anybody who's a guitarist will understand what I'm saying. There's no truss rod in here because the neck will never warp. It can sustain temperatures as high as, I think, 200 degrees and as low as 150 degrees, minus 150. Sounds beautiful. Thank you, man. I think so, too. Trying to think of what I can play for you here tonight. Let me think here. This is the one part of the show that I do not have planned in any way, shape, or form. Let me do this one. I haven't played this a few weeks ago, but this is one of my favorite songs, and I don't know why. I just know that it is. Come back, baby, hear me crying that I need you now. Come back, baby, dear, I'm dying. Let me show you how. Broken hearted, sinking fast. When we first got started, I was sure we was gonna last. Till the good times got to roll until you roll right past. Hey honey, come on back home to me. These lovesick blues are killing me. Woke up this morning with the blues all around, clouding up my sky. Run from the dawn, but the day come and saved me, and it showed me why. Don't fall. Around your heart you built a stone cold wall. So you got to love them, girl, and then you love them all. Hey honey, come on back home to me. These lovesick blues are killing me. Baby, hear me crying that I need you now. Come back, baby, dear, I'm dying. Let me show you how. Running hard enough, sinking fast. When I first got started, I was sure we was gonna last. Till the good times got to roll until you roll right past. Hey, honey, come on back home to me. Lovesick blues are killing me. Hey honey, come on back home to me. These lovesick blues are killing me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. There you go. Written by the late, great Bob Gibson, one of the poet laureates of original folk music back in the early 60s, and on his album Funky in the Country, in case you are looking for reference material. Well done. Thank you very much, Carl. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody that's joining us this evening. Thank you very much. If you haven't heard the word, and indeed, where were you when we came down on this? It is true. We have surpassed the 100 subscriber mark, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we did it. We did it. You and I, we did that together. We were able to surpass the 100 subscriber mark. In fact, we actually surpassed it. We did. Yes. No, it's true. I wouldn't lie to you about a thing like that. I couldn't mess with you on a thing like that. We're over 100 subscribers. Amy said thank you. No, man, I got to thank you because you, how can I say this? You did the Betty White thing on me. Which I really appreciate. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, remember that campaign where everybody went, we've got to get Betty White on SNL. And people wrote in and they flooded social media and they did that. You did the same thing where you made a couple of blurbs. And the next thing I know, I'm over the top. And I really do appreciate it. And Morgan Roberts, if you are watching the show, and I know you are, I can see out there. You just thought it was a simple subscription, didn't you? No, in all sincerity, if you are watching this or you watch the replay, please get a hold of me at in my email on the homepage for YouTube, and I will be more than glad to. I'll be more than glad to send something your way as a way of saying thank you. I'll give you an autographed copy of the album to kind of say thank you for helping us with this momentous occasion. So, thank you very much. Now, can we get it to 200? I know it's a dream. Hey, you can't take my dreams. You cannot take my dreams, okay? But if it's possible, hey, like I said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, buy the YouTube guy a cup of coffee, donate. Click on the little donate button on the homepage for YouTube, and thank you. I will say that to everybody. Thank you oh so very much. It started out as a joke, but then for some reason it got real serious. And yes, I feel much better now. You like me. You really like me. I know. Just relax. I don't really mean that. Moving on with things that happened during the course of the week. Did you hear about this the other day? Did you hear what happened to Dave Chappelle? This is getting serious, gang. This is getting serious, okay? If you didn't hear the word, actually this happened on Tuesday. He was performing on stage at the Hollywood Bowl. And some guy literally jumped out of the audience with a knife. He had, it's very hard to describe, but I talked to a couple of people, and they used to call them zip guns. Because what they are, they look like little snub-nosed revolvers that have a knife at the edge, at the end of the barrel. Okay? Now, I was able to lift some footage. The good folks at TMZ, somebody from TMZ was in the audience, along with a whole bunch of people. And we'll get to that in a minute. And I was able to snag this video. And Carl's saying, I believe he made some controversial trans remarks. Yeah, that's what got him in hot water to begin with, because he'd made a couple of jokes about trans people. And, of course, the trans community was all up in arms, not realizing that you're dealing with Dave Chappelle. And he had a Netflix special that was coming up, and people wanted them to pull the special, and they said no, and it just got real sticky for a few minutes. So he's on stage. Now, if you are not prone to violence, if that kind of thing makes you kind of queasy, now I'm not saying that anything gory or gutsy or nasty or anything is going to happen, but you may want to either, switch off the video or, fast forward if you're watching the replay. But we have the video. And by the way, TMZ, please don't strike my video and make me not be able to, replay this. I kept your watermark on this, and I'm mentioning you right now. I acknowledge the fact that, yes, TMZ did record this. So I was able to scratch this. This is what happened to Dave Chappelle last night. Or, I beg your pardon, Tuesday night at the Hollywood Bowl. Check this out.
Behind me on the DJ table is one of the most prolific producers that hip-hop has ever presented, the mighty Mad Lib. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for hip-hop history.
My man just tackled him straight out. And you can see all of the hysteria that ensued right after that, which is very understandable. Take a closer look at this, okay? I want to know how he got up on the stage, because I mean, it's a big stage. It's high up. Anybody who's been to the bowl is high up. It's high up. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the orchestra pit is still there. So you have to kind of like climb over that and climb up that. But seriously, check this out, okay? Now watch on the left side of the screen. Watch this guy jump up out of the audience and just come after Dave, who fended himself pretty well, may I add. Okay? Yeah. You know, and Dave didn't mess around. Dave did not mess around. Okay? It was, you know, the guy just tackling him on the ground. But now here is what nobody's talking about. Here is what nobody's talking about, and I find really kind of amusing, okay? Now, and it was pointed out to me, and well, here, let me do this. Let me play the footage for you, and you tell me from here what you think. Hold on a second. This is right after the ensuing madness. Now look off when they pull to the right.
I am going to kill that.
Of course you are, buddy. You had your chance when you tackled him.
Wait, I gotta see this.
Now he goes back. There's about 20 people on this guy, just pummeling the crap out of him. They're just killing this guy. And he was carried out by stretcher to an ambulance, by the way.
Thank God that was clumsy.
You think?
He's back there getting stomped.
And they were still beating on him.
Where did that come from? Thank you, son. It was a trans man.
Only Dave Chappelle. Only Dave Chappelle could get away with that. Okay? But that's not the fun. Now, and this was pointed out to me. Okay, now people like Jamie Foxx were backstage. My son Eric pointed out also, Jon Stewart was back there, and he was helping to beat this guy. Okay? Madonna was in attendance. She's sitting there watching it going, what the heck is going on? But the funniest part of all of it, and Carl pointed this out in the chat, but the funniest part of all of this was also in attendance was Chris Rock. This is about a 4-second clip, so pay attention to what Chris says when he comes out to support Dave. Listen to this.
Was that Will Smith?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. I guess that means that Chris broke his silence. But, so that's what's going on. They have, see, right off. Heads up, we've detected copyright audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be, your stream may be going to the YouTube police. So here's hoping that, and again, thank you, TMZ. Yes, I used your stuff. I'm sorry, but that's what's going on. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. That is the first time that has ever happened to me where I look on my video software and they tell me, you can't use that. Unclean. The YouTube police are everywhere. Carl's also saying, I fear that the trans element of the LGBTQ plus communities has turned so militant in tainting the rest of the community and putting us back in time. No, I don't think it's that. I really sincerely believe in my heart of hearts that, and I mean, I was thinking about this the last couple of days, especially during the times, that, especially after this happened. people are getting testy. People are getting really, really Karenish. You know, a lot of Feliciaism going on. And it's like, you know, if the guy was trans, you know, learn to take a joke, bro. Okay? Or sister, whatever. But in all sincerity, you know, it's like, Carl put it best. Comedy has been ruined by wokeism. Something happened. Something happened. I don't know what. But the Will Smith thing definitely put a nail in it. That was the final nail in the coffin. And I really fear now for a lot of the comedians. Comedy isn't comedy anymore. You can't, no matter what you say, you're going to cheese somebody off. Believe me, I know that. Amy City saying the pendulum is swinging again. It happens time and time again in this country. We swing so freaking far in one direction that it reaches a breaking point. Then we go the other way. Yeah, that's America for you. But right now, it's like I've never seen this with like political comedy. You know, can you imagine if George Carlin were alive right now? This man would be busting a stitch. Can you imagine if Mort Saul or Lenny Bruce or Don Rickles, you know, this is how bad it's gotten. You were going to start attacking comedians now? Really? Come on, you guys. It's comedy. You know, I remember when I was a kid, there used to be a trick shop near my house. Growing up as a child, Riley's Trick Shop used to be right off the corner of 91st and Levitt, where I grew up. And there was a lovely plaque that the owner, Don Riley, had put on the wall of this brick building. And it said, and I quote, "A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest of men." Just laugh at it, people. We've got to go back to laughing at ourselves. Really. Because we're taking life way too seriously these days. Carl is saying it's happening all over the world. The ability to crack a joke and step back and laugh at it and say the comedian is not anti or pro this or that. It's comedy. And providing it's not subliminally or otherwise inciting trouble against someone, then that's fine. Right. I mean, it's the old saying, okay, no harm, no foul. I mean, it's gotten sad. It really has. You know, and you know, Dave Chappelle is a treasure. That man's a national treasure. And does he insult people? Yes. Does he insult trans people? Yes. Does he insult black people? Yes. Does he insult white people? Yes. Does he insult politicians? Yes. That's what he does. He's flipping Dave Chappelle. Get over it. Why, if you don't like him, why'd you come to the show? Obviously to try to take him out. But how much money did you spend in order to do that? And what did you get for your troubles? Not only did you not take him out, but you had about 20, 30 big beefy brothers pummel the crap out of you to the point where you had to be taken away in an ambulance. And then you were arrested. Hope that was worth it. He obviously doesn't cross racial lines. Oh, you'd be surprised, dude. You'd be surprised. And he's good at it, too. He's really good at it. Speaking purely from a U.S. perspective, let's see. Something happened. Hold on. The glasses go back on. Let's see. Amy City is saying something happened. We elected Obama. Trump was a direct pendulum swing against that, and the polarization of this country occurred. We're still dealing with the polarization and the aftermath, speaking purely from a U.S. perspective. Yeah, that's part of it. That is part of it. I do believe that a lot of that was the catalyst. But there's a thin line, like McCartney said, there's a thin line between chaos and creation. When you cross the lines between political satire and political reality, that's uncharted territory. That's territory that shouldn't be charted, quite frankly. So, but yeah, equal opportunities insulter. Yeah, he is. Dave Chappelle hates everybody equally, and we're darn proud of that. If you've ever seen Chappelle's show alone, that is justification for that statement. He's Rick James, bitch. So, yeah. So that happened. There's a lot of things going on. So, yeah, we I'm scared for the future of comedy. I have to tell you. I am really scared for the future of comedy. Is it going to come back to, all this Brady Bunch crap? Really? No. I don't think so. But I feel that there's now, for every Dave Chappelle and for every, Robert Hines, there is a target on their back. Simply because their material is going to cheese off some Methodist minister in Sioux Falls. And it's getting bad. It's really getting bad. However, we do have good news. There is good news that we found out about yesterday. At least we can start using the joke of, Ward, you were a little hard on the beaver last night. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Marsha. And if you don't understand either one of those jokes, you are too young to be my friend. There is good news, however. Speaking of the old days. Gather around, children, and let me tell you a story. A wonderful story back in the halcyon days of this wonderful mechanical device we used to call television. Back in the original days of basic cable. There was a time when there was a channel, and the channel did something very, very radical. They played videos by musical artists. And they didn't do it occasionally. Oh, no. They did it all the time. I'm speaking of that wonderful, wonderful historic relic known as maybe it was Tyrone Biggums that tackled Dave. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about right there. You can make jokes like that. But somebody is gonna be upset by that. Oh, you're talking about Tyrone. Oh, I see. So now we're going to talk about the colored people. Oh, no, we can't have that. Shut up, lady. I know what he's talking about. Tyrone Biggums was a character on Chappelle's show. Do your homework before you get pissed off. Okay, Marjorie? Now, where was I? Oh, yes. The halcyon days of basic cable. Come to me, children. Come back with me to a time. Good news. We were all invited to an oil wrestling match between Florence Henderson, Barbara Eden, and Elizabeth Montgomery. You forgot Barbara Feldon. And Goldie Hawn. Just saying. Chris, okay, so Chris, our occasional guest co-host, Chris just popped up. I love your fake outrage. I'm not being fake about this, Chris. I'm not. I'm worried about the state of comedy. I'm worried about people that have gone to such political extremes that no matter what they say, It's going to piss somebody off. Not that comedy hasn't pissed people off to begin with. Not that comedy it hasn't pissed people, because that's what part of it is. Part of it is satire. Part of it is to make you think. But not to the point where you've got to jump up and attack the guy saying it. You know? It's stupid. It's uncalled for. It's no. That's like, I'm worried the comedians will lose the scrote to say what they feel. Yes, me too. And that's why I just said, are we going back to the days of, the Brady Bunch? Are we going back to the days of, Dave Coulier? Oh, come on, cut it out. That's, I don't want comedians to lose that edge. Imagine if George Carlin were around today. Imagine if George Wallace was around today. It just, apparently we are. Well, here's hoping not. But anyway, let's move on to a simpler subject. A tale of a simpler time. A tale of a thing we used to call Yo MTV Raps. Now, I suppose you're asking yourself right about now, Gainer, why would you be bringing this up? And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because, believe it or not, it's coming back. That's right. You heard right. After more than 25 years, according to Digital Music News, Yo MTV Raps will be returning this month, complete with the live performances, the interviews, the lifestyle content, and everything from MTV Entertainment Studios. That's right, you remember those days, don't you? Those days when Fab Five, Freddy, and Dr. Dre, and what's his face decided to do this. Music Jukebox 66 was before MTV. I think it was around the same time, quite honestly. But anyway, the show itself is going to be... Now, and this is the part that gets me. You would think MTV would be putting this on. Oh, no. It's going on Paramount Plus. Okay, show of hands, how many people have Paramount Plus on their cable boxes? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, the show is going to be hosted by Conceited and DJ Diamond Cuts. But they're going to Amu City says he does. And that doesn't surprise me at all, quite honestly, Amu City. Well, they have a myriad of MTV channels. A DJ friend of mine guest resident on that show. I did not know that. That's cool. But they do have, and Carl, you're right. Paramount Plus, they've got like a lot of the original MTV shows. Like later on this month or next month, I believe it is that they're going to bring back the original MTV Unplugged, the behind the music scene, the behind the music series rather from VH1. Yeah, so there you have it. 16 and pregnant. There you go. There you go. What? They need to bring back Silent Library. Yeah, there you go. There's an idea too. There's an idea. Oh man. You just wonder what downtown Julie Brown is up to these days, don't you? So there you have it. Yo MTV Raps coming back later on this month. To Paramount Plus, coming to a cable box near you. Carl even said Celebrity Deathmatch was awesome. Yeah, downtown Julie Brown, you gotta love her. You go back to the originals, J.J. Jackson. Okay. Yeah. And maybe one day, who knows, they might do something really off the wall, like maybe actually play music. I know it's a crazy concept. Just out there saying. But in any case, so there you've got that. So that is the way it has been this year, or this week rather. This year it felt like it felt like a year. I tell you what. So yeah, a lot of paper. But I do appreciate, let me see, Amy City say, Mojo Nixon had a song called Stuffin' Martha's Muffin about Martha Quinn. Yes. Remind me of what Yo MTV Raps was all about. Yo MTV, really, Carl? Really? I know you sit home and you watch these things at 2 a.m. You can't lie to me. UMTV Raps was basically about hip-hop. The early days of rap and hip-hop, MTV came out with this wonderful show that centered on the hip-hop lifestyle. And you had people like Fab Five Freddy and Dr. Dre going on there interviewing some of the great hip-hop artists. Tupac, I remember them really giving him a lot of time. A lot of interviews, a lot of new releases. They were front and center and very instrumental, I think, in the spotlighting of rap and hip-hop and making it kind of what it is today. Amy City is saying, I was more a fan of 120 Minutes and Headbangers Ball. Yeah, so was I. Ricky Rackman. I was all about him. Chris, I'm glad you said lifestyle. Well, it is. Just like rock and roll is a lifestyle. Hip-hop is a lifestyle, too. I'm not going to lie about that. There's a country music lifestyle. If you are that involved in the genre, then yes, it is. It does become a lifestyle. It becomes a little bit more than, a piece of art. It becomes something that you're completely consumed in. Believe me, I know. Believe me, I know. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover were the most iconic hosts of that. Yeah, that is true. That is very true. And I was trying to remember Ed Lover's name. I watched the show. I was a casual watcher of the show. I really didn't get into it because, like Amy City, I was more into Headbangers Ball and 120 Minutes. That was my Jones for a Saturday night. But that also showed how lonely and terribly desperate we were at the time. Anyway, with that in mind, thank you very, very much for being with us again this week. I certainly do appreciate it. Thank you to everyone in the chat. I certainly do appreciate you interacting. Thank you for watching. And looks like you're going to be out of time for another song, so I'll save my suggestion for Squeezebox for next week. That would be a good idea. Who knows? Maybe I'll come back with an update on the ABBA show. You've been warned. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to everybody who interacted. Like, subscribe. Thank you for the 100 subscribers. Let's make it to 200. Can we do it? Let's find out. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. Thank you for this evening's televisual broadcast. Remember, no salesman will call or visit, and we will not talk about your extended car's warranty. Go to hugs@wrgg.com. Cyrus Gray, the top 10 countdown coming up right after we get off the air here. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I appreciate it. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Wear the damn mask. Get the damn shot. Have yourself a great time, and we will be back 1 week. And like, subscribe, do all that stuff. In other words, if you like it, hey, you know what to do. We'll see you next week. We out. Peace.